Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fanatically Speaking. I'm Kent, your co-host and promoter.
I'm Log Off, the Log Off legend, hater of social media, co-host and producer of the show.
And we have another Super Bowl episode, but this time we're gonna talk about all the fun stuff. We ain't even talking about the game.
Yeah, the Super Bowl is an event. It's an unofficial holiday, man.
Yeah, I guess we are going to talk about not the game this year, but moments of past games, and then again, everything that comes with the Super Bowl. As you said, it's a national holiday. Should it be a holiday the day after? Things like that. Commercials and halftime shows and food, all that stuff we're going to get into on this episode.
Yeah. And leading off, you got a rundown. I'm fine going however you want to go with it. I think it's obvious where we should start. But
Okay.
but you go ahead, you lead off.
So you want to start? We want to start with the best Super Bowl we've watched.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna do like a back and forth here. This is not saying we're not ranking. We're not saying like this is the best Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls, because that's all, that's all based on your opinion and what you've seen, right? So we're just saying like in our lifetime, we're roughly the same age. I'm a little older, but we've seen, watch Super Bowls, and so I want to get into like what Super Bowl that you've watched and you were just like, man, this is like one of the greatest games I've ever seen.
Got it. Is there one that stands out to you
Well,
any other?
You know me, man. I'm a homer. I'm biased. It would be blasphemy if I didn't say the Philadelphia Eagles winning their first Super Bowl wasn't the greatest Super Bowl I've ever watched. Because I never thought in my lifetime I'd see the Philadelphia Eagles win a Super Bowl. Amazingly, I've seen them win 2. But growing up, we've talked about this before. That's why I picked that game. Is it technically the best Super Bowl I've ever watched? Probably not, right? But it's a pretty damn good one. I ain't gonna lie to you. You had an upset. I'm not even getting into the plays. I'm just saying, when you play against Tom Brady and New England Patriots, you're normally counted out. The Eagles went into that game with a backup quarterback, and they still beat the great Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, New England Patriots in a Super Bowl for their first Super Bowl ever in the history of the franchise. So that one, to me, I have to name it as the best one I ever watched because my team came out on top.
Okay.
Now, if you want me to name another one, I guess I could, but
No,
I'm gonna roll with that.
I
one.
understand. I understand your bias.
Yes,
I get the bias, and it's not.
It's the same.
It's not discrimination excluding any other teams when it's like when you can give it to one that had like the best like emotional connection.
Yeah, I'm not going to. My bias, man. I'm not going to just name the Eagles or talk about the Eagles just to do it, right? I'm going to give you some information and some backup, and it's going to be legitimate, and it can be a legitimate argument, right? But my bias is pretty equal to my hatred of the Cowboys. So.
Okay. All right. So, in terms of a watching experience, I'm trying to think about the one that had the biggest impact on me. The one that felt like, I guess you could say like the biggest spectacle. Okay. Like the one where the game felt big. Mm-hmm. And wasn't that long ago. Wasn't incredibly recent either. But the crazy thing is for even young sports fans, I feel like they're going to know a lot of these names from the Super Bowl. Okay. But I just remember sitting down watching it, being enthralled and being invested, even though neither one of them were my team. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really have a rooting interest for either side. February 2013, Ravens 49ers.
Okay.
That's where I ended up going.
Okay.
And that was the lights out Joe Flacco game. He threw for almost 300 yards, three touchdowns, no picks. Mm-hmm. Played against the 49ers. That was the Colin Kaepernick year. He threw for 300 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. You had for the Ravens, you had you had Ray Rice, before the scandal,
before the punch.
Yeah, before knocking a woman out and his wife out in an elevator.
Hey, better listen to your corner, man. Watch for the hook.
Got to watch for the hook. You got Anquan Bolden. You know, you've got, you know, a defense that had, you know, both Ray Lewis and Ed Reed on it. Like it's a Haloi Nata on that team, Bernard Pollard on that team, Terrell Suggs on that team. Yeah. Like just names for days.
Patrick Willis on the Niners.
Patrick Willis, Frank Gore on the Niners.
Yeah.
Michael Crabtree, Vernon Davis.
Yeah.
Randy Moss.
That one
was on that roster.
That's a weird one.
He was on the roster, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, like, you know, Ahmad Brooks, Delaney Walker. Like, it was such a big. It felt like a football, like a respected football player resume game, where some of these guys, of course, are Hall of Famers, but like the names we were laying out, all of those guys are heavily respected as football players. And it just felt big. It was a back and forth game, and Baltimore was able to hold on at the end. You know, it ended up winning by 3. You know, no questionable calls, no headache play calling that you can remember off the top of your head. It was just hard-nosed football to the end of the game into the fourth quarter, and Baltimore was able to, you know, to hold on enough to be able to win. And so that was the one for me where it was kind of the best watching experience. That it was, for me, it was an easy pick, number 1 out of the box.
Okay. It's not a bad one. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I liked it. You know, 34-31. So nice close scoring, back and forth game. Yeah.
Yeah, close game. Like you said, come down to the wire. And I mean, that's a pretty good, like I said, that is a pretty good Super Bowl.
Yeah, and keep in mind, just one more thing, just keep in mind, we were just talking about, you know, the halftime in the previous episode. We were talking about just how big like halftime swings are in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I want you to keep in mind that going into halftime, Baltimore was up 21-6.
Yep. And
San Francisco came out and scored 17 points in that third quarter. So I loved it. It was a
which
I'm going to knock you out.
Again, that was after Jacoby Jones returned the second half kickoff for 108 yards.
There you
touchdown.
Go. There you go.
That's that huge play.
Huge play. The huge play, the huge swing, but it was back and forth. I'm going to hit people in the face. And we'll see who's the last man standing. And that Ravens defense still gave up 31 points. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, special teams and all that, but still 31 points on the board. It doesn't look great.
No. That's a really good one. Like you said, you want the games to be close. You know, maybe if it's not your team, because then it makes it a little nail biting. But either way, it's still a good. You want the games to be close, right? I mean, again, watching Super Bowls throughout the years, blowouts are never fun.
That's where we're different, dude. I love watching the ass whooping.
Except when it's your team. Like, yeah, I mean, I obviously enjoy the Eagles, but yeah, I mean, sometimes, man, like, it just depends on where you're at as a football fan and where you're at as a fan. I think if you get again, we talk about the Super Bowl brings in all different people and everybody watching, right? So if you're not a football fan and you're watching a blowout, you're probably like, oh, well, I don't, you know, like, this is not fun. I think it just depends on the type of person you are and what you want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's personality based, because I have to say, if a non-football fan comes in and they sit and watch a blowout and they don't like football, that nerd can get out of my living room. Go watch cricket or something else. Kiss my ass. Yeah. I don't want to hear your opinions and thoughts on football if you're not a real fan. An ass whooping is an ass whooping. If the Steelers are playing the Ravens and the Steelers have an opportunity to beat them by 40, and it just happens to be a down year for the Ravens, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They're going to end up playing twice a year, every year forever. Let's see how they come back the next time. Like, so even with blowouts in Super Bowls, I don't mind it. Like, both teams signed up for it. They had the losing team had an opportunity to drag another team and just didn't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maybe that's where I'm different. I don't mind it that much. I don't, but I also don't ask for a ton from my sports either.
But you never know. Like I said, it could be a blowout and teams come back. Like you just mentioned, the 49ers came back. They didn't win. But they came back, and we've obviously seen the Falcons blow a 28-3 lead. So it does happen. But yeah, like I said, either way, that's a good game. There's obviously all the ones we've seen in our lifetime. That's a really good pick. I like it. So let's go to the best play you've ever seen in a Super Bowl. And I'm going to say play, performance. I'm just going to bunch it all together. However you want to do it. If you don't have a play, then maybe it's a performance by a player. I don't know.
Okay, but and that's so by performance you mean like a collective of a stat line in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I'll just add that to it. I mean, I originally was thinking like best play you've ever seen because there's been so many moments in Super Bowls. And again, ones you've watched, not ones you saw, on NFL film, on NFL films.
Why can't I pick one from 1978? Before I was born.
Nah. Ones you've watched. Okay, so I'm gonna lead off. Yeah, again, my bias is it's the Philly special. That's why I said I wasn't gonna talk about plays in my favorite Super Bowl, best Super Bowl I ever watched. Again, that play at that moment, at that time, the Eagles were up 15-12, 38 seconds left, second quarter, almost halftime, 4th and goal at the one, and they run a trick play. You know what I mean? To throw the ball to your quarterback. You know what I mean? So the Philly special was amazing, caught everybody off guard. Even though the play had been, ran before in the NFL by the Patriots, the Eagles did it with their own little twist on it, I guess, the way they pulled it off. From Nick Foles, acting like he's calling an audible and talking to his lineman and all this stuff, and Corey Clement and Trey Burton pulling it off, man. The Philly special, greatest play I've ever seen in a Super Bowl. The balls to call it at that moment, and it worked. You can't tell me any different.
I mean, the only thing that I didn't like about the Philly special is
what?
No. Just listen to what. Just hear me out. Take a deep breath. Just hear me out. The only thing I didn't like about it is it was such a good, effective, and creative play call, but you'll never see it again. You can't just run that play again. You know what I mean? Like it was one of the rare creative designed plays that you're not going to see emulated all over the league. Does that make sense?
No, even though, like I said, it's been done before, but to pull it off to like that, you know what I mean? So
in that moment
in that moment itself, right? It's hard to pull off, and we saw a couple plays this season just to talk about the season. Jameis Winston made a catch and then actually made moves to score a touchdown this year, and Jared Goff had a touchdown call back. So we see they quarterbacks they're gonna make plays sometimes. They're gonna call these trick plays, but nothing like that. I don't think in that moment. At least and that's been a while now. So I think it'll still maybe not exactly that play, but maybe something. But you're right though. You're right. I mean it can't. That's a tough one to duplicate.
Okay. All right. For me, and again, I try to think about like moments.
Yeah.
Like I try to think about like the holy shit, did you see that, type effect for me.
Yeah.
It was the Rams Titans
Super
Bowl.
Yep.
Isaac Bruce was incredible, man.
Just that performance.
Like that performance. Mm-hmm. Like it was because it was a complete game. Like we all knew. I mean, small, undersized wide receiver. Not tiny by any stretch, but electric as all get out. And I'm gonna have to look it up. I know he had a huge play in that game. I don't want to misquote it and say how many yards it was. I want to say, hold on, give me a second.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up. He had a touchdown for 73 yards.
Mm-hmm.
A 73-yard reception for a touchdown. Like he put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that was a super flashy offense for the Rams anyway.
Yes.
But yeah. So what now?
Greatest show on turf.
Greatest show on turf. And he was the standout in that game to me. So yeah, to me that was kind of the one that kind of stood out the most. Obviously, you know, we know the Titans. There was the you know, just kind of that wasn't too far from the like the rebranding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from, you know, and all that, and, you know, McNair, and
yes.
but for me, yeah, it was that game.
Okay.
It was, and this just goes to show you that even now, even though the Rams are in a totally different city, they're still a good franchise overall.
Yes. Not a bad one. You could have went with that game as well. We could have went with that game as the best game ever played. Super Bowl I've watched. And I just want to – I have to throw out a couple plays that I had in mind, and I'm not going to name a list. I know how I am. But a couple other plays that I thought were unbelievable plays in Super Bowls that I've watched were Jake Delhomme, the longest touchdown pass ever in Super Bowl history, 85 yards to Muhsin Muhammad, in another game that could be, you know, one of the greatest games I ever watched, Super Bowls. And James Harrison's 99-yard, 100-yard, however you want to point it. I think it was officially a 99-yard pick six on Kurt Warner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling all the way to the end
the
zone.
whole way to he was going to get those 6 points.
That is a big man to take one to intercept it. James Harrison. That's a big man to intercept it and run, you know, the length of the football field and score. That was a huge moment. That game also had the Santonio Holmes catch that won it. Again, that game in itself could be one of the greatest games ever. I had to mention those moments and those games as well.
Yeah.
But
it's just so funny.
I use my biased. Yeah.
No, but you're talking about a 99-yard, pick six. It was a real mommy look at me ass type touchdown. Like it was everybody's watching me right now. I can't goof this up. Like I gotta stay on my feet. It was and for a gentleman of that size, for him to be able to run that back, that's crazy looking.
I hate that it happened to Kurt Warner, who is my, if I've never mentioned this, is my favorite quarterback that is not a Philadelphia Eagle or had been a Philadelphia Eagle. So I hate it happened to him, but hey, it is still one of the greatest plays I've ever seen in Super Bowl.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So that's the best we've seen and thought we've seen. How about the worst game that I've had to endure in Super Bowl history? And we're going to get into worst plays that I've ever watched. And there's a common theme with some of these teams in my picks, but
go ahead. I already know because I think one of them is mine, but it's not. Okay. It's going to be for the opposite reason that yours is.
So again, I'm not going to list a bunch of games, but I had a couple in mind. One was the Colts-Bears Super Bowl. Good for Peyton Manning that he won a Super Bowl, and I know it had Devin Hester's return, so maybe that's why I didn't pick that as my worst Super Bowl I ever had to watch. But again, having to watch Rex Grossman and the Bears offense was enough. That was not a good Super Bowl for me, but the one was the Patriots-Rams. Patriots won 13-3 in 2019. We mentioned in another episode, Jared Goff, he made a Super Bowl, and the Rams threw a dud of 3 points on the board, and the Patriots didn't do a whole lot more. So one of the worst Super Bowls I've watched, and that's the one that really comes to mind. And again, I've watched, and I could have easily said any Cowboy Super Bowl win in the 90s was one of the worst to watch. Them destroy Buffalo or beat Pittsburgh. But in all honesty, that Rams Patriots Super Bowl not too long ago was really bad to watch.
So is that your worst one?
That is my worst one.
Okay. All right.
So you got a different one?
So I get to be the guy.
Okay.
Dude, the worst watched Super Bowl was the 50 burger, Super Bowl 50. Panthers Broncos.
Oh.
That game sucked. It was terrible. It was a horrible Super Bowl. It was bad. It was bad football to watch.
Yeah.
It was bad football to watch because I'm sitting there and I'm watching like no. The better team should win. Why isn't the better team winning?
Yeah.
And here it is. So the final score of the Super Bowl, which is a little confusing, and I'll get to that in a second. It was 24-10.
Yeah.
The game didn't feel like it. It felt like it should be 12-3. Like it didn't.
2-3.
Yeah, it was a terrible ass game, man. And when you broke it all down, to me, it was one of the rare instances, especially in a quarterback matchup where it's like we knew how great Cam Newton was, and it didn't materialize for him. But however, the Panthers had 21 first downs in that Super Bowl. 21 first downs. The Broncos had 11, almost half.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Total yards. The Panthers, 315 yards. Broncos, 194. They beat them in rushing. They beat them in rushing attempts. They beat them in yards per carry. They had more sacks. Like they were doing the things that you needed to do to win the game, and they just could not score to save their lives. Denver, they got the fumble recovery. They were able to score a touchdown with that, so that's 7 free points. Field goal, and then they had the score at the end of the fourth quarter. C.J. Anderson rushes in for a touchdown, and then they do a 2-point conversion and score that too. But other than that, the Panthers kicked that. We're gonna make the history books look a little bit better by kicking this chip shot field goal to make it 10 points, as opposed to it being a 7-point loss. It was terrible to watch because the whole time my mind was blown as to how they were able to lose the game in that manner, and it was such a slow loss. It was like, dude, let's just get this over with so I can go to sleep.
Yeah. I that's a really good one. I don't think of it as a bad one that I watched, but I can definitely see it being a bad Super Bowl. And like you just mentioned, us being in the Charlotte area again, we were thinking the Panthers, what a season they had, right? And then that offense was amazing, and then to get to the Super Bowl and not perform, and then noodle arm Peyton Manning over there couldn't throw 10 yards. And
Kent, in that Super Bowl, there were 2 offensive touchdowns scored between both teams. They both had one. They both had. And hold on, and this is what I mean. Just how bad it was. One of them was a 1-yard touchdown run by Jonathan Stewart, and the other was a 2-yard touchdown run by C.J. Anderson. Like it was bad football.
Yeah,
like it wasn't fun to watch.
And I would argue too. I mean, I would bring up, not blaming the refs, but I don't think it was a very well officiated game as well.
That's a good point too.
There's all kind of conspiracy theory. There always is about this referee and Peyton Manning and his record with this ref. And then, like I said, some of the calls, were very they were very interesting, right? But at the same time, the Panthers did not perform. You're right, and noodle arm Peyton Manning at that time could it just that's a good one. I like it. I didn't see that one coming. So
yeah, man. It was again. When you said it, the first thing I thought was like, which one had like the worst like physical reaction experience to watching it, man. It pisses me off.
So with the worst game we've watched, I'm gonna go to the worst play that I've had to see in a Super Bowl.
Oh, Kent.
And
I'm gonna piss you off, man.
That's okay. So I, on my pick, I'll get to. One that came to mind was from that game you just mentioned. It was Cam Newton not falling on the fumble.
Stop. That's mine. That's my pick.
Wow,
it's my pick. I was gonna double up on it.
Okay.
I have to go with it. Hold on. You've watched a lot of football in your life, dude.
Yeah.
You ain't never seen no shit like that in your life. You've never seen it. You haven't seen it before, and you will never see that again. Where you can visibly see a human being stop and hesitate from jumping on a fumble.
Yeah.
You're never gonna see it again in your life.
And I know that he's spoken out about it, and he definitely regrets it. You know what I mean? And in that moment, only he knows what's going through his mind, right? That, do I, don't I? But like you said, you would think in the Super Bowl, it's all out. And I don't like it to be put as like a permanent knock on Cam. You know what I mean? But it was a huge moment, and it was a really bad play and a bad decision to not at least try to get that fumble. But that was not my pick. So that was your pick. You have any more thought?
Pick, yeah.
That's your pick? Okay. So my pick again, we go back to, like you said, you watch a game, you're invested, they're not even your teams. And then you see a play so stupid, so dumb, that you're like, Kevin Patullo could have called a better play. Anybody could have called a better play at that moment in time. And some of it was, I was rooting against the other team because I didn't want to see them win again. And it's the last time the Seahawks and the Patriots played in the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, man. And Russell Wilson trying to be the hero, not giving the ball to beast mode.
However that play call came in, however that decision was made, right? You got that miracle catch, right? And they're set up for the win. They're about to take the Patriots' soul, right? Yeah. And on the 1 yard line, second down. Beast mode just ran the ball, got him to the 1 yard line. Like, just punch it in. And again, football knowledge, you would say, run it on second down, right? And then, like I said, you got. If you're gonna throw it, you got 2 more downs to throw it, right? That's the way I would think. And again, no one at that point. You got the Patriots on their heels, and again, you got beast mode. Marshawn Lynch just punched it in, and they threw the ball. And I don't know. That's probably the maddest I've been and angriest I've been at a football game, not being a Philadelphia Eagle game. Like, I jumped up and was literally, the words coming out of my mouth was like, "Are you kidding me? That is the dumbest decision I've ever seen in my life." Now, credit to Malcolm Butler. He had scouted the play. He knew it was coming. He jumped the route, made the play. If it works, it's one of those, obviously, too. Like, if it works, great, it worked. When it doesn't work, though, this is what you get. But it seemed like common knowledge. Like I said, even Kevin Patullo could have said they would have come up with just run the ball on this second down with 1 yard to go. And I bet we get it. You know what I mean? Or at least get half the distance or something, right? And then and then you can do whatever we want after that, right? You want to throw it after that, run some kind of play action, roll out with Russ, then you can do whatever. But at that moment, you just punched it that close. Just punch it again and get one more time with your, big, bad running back, Marshawn Lynch. So, yeah, definitely the worst play I've ever seen in my Super Bowl history in my life.
It was, so the interesting thing about both of our picks is that they're not going to be put in the same bucket in terms of, because one of them is an actual play call, and then the other one is a decision made by a player within their head. But the result of both of them came originally from people overthinking the situation that they were in. And just do the thing that you've always done when it comes to football. Run the fucking ball.
That's it.
And the ball's on the ground. Jump on that shit. I mean, easy ass. It's as easy as saying, "Hey, if you're thirsty, drink water, and if it's cold outside, make sure to bundle up." Like, it's easy ass context to apply to anything. I think that's if there's anything that our two have in common is those two things. There's just people trying to be a little too much in their head about what the hell is happening right in front of you. It's obvious what you should do. Stop trying to zag when others are zigging.
Yeah, and one obviously affected the outcome of the game because that was the game. And again,
no. I think
your pick affected the game too.
Did.
Well, no, they both like one definitely because it was like this is
the game's over.
This was boom or bust, but then the other one definitely affected because that changed the field position, like you said, everything. Like you can't turn the ball over. Like you don't want to give the ball to the other team. And both plays are definitely very similar. But
similar. I didn't, it's funny. I didn't even think about that. They both similarly opposite.
Similarly opposite.
They both literally resulted in turnovers. But sometimes we need those things in life, and your pick with Seattle and them not giving the ball to Beast Mode, it gave us one of my favorite memes, gifs of all time is that Richard Sherman looking up at the Jumbotron face.
Yeah, he's like, even he's thinking they're gonna hand it off. Everybody,
he's like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, what? I'm sorry, what just happened? Yeah.
Apparently,
the unbelievable shock face.
Yeah, except Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they were the two smartest people in the building, and look at what happened.
Jeez. All right, so we're gonna move off the field a little bit and get to halftime shows. It's a part of the spectacle.
It is a part of the spectacle. And
we'll start off with the best halftime show that you've watched, or your favorite.
I'm gonna let you do the heavy lifting on this one,
okay?
Because I want to, and it's going to display a lot of ignorance about me. But I mean, like, I love music. Like it's in my core. I feel like dancing is the most underrated medicine that's available to people. It's just vibing and having a good time. But like we could parse through the years of great Super Bowl performances. I really honestly don't have one that like stands out to me. So
okay.
I mean, I could give an opinion, but I'm more curious to hear what you said. I'd rather have fun with that.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So, obviously, I was a more recent, obviously a fan of the Dr. Dre, having all them Eminem out there.
Snoop,
that
50.
Snoop. Yeah, all that was great as a hip hop rap fan of, especially of them. And but I don't get too, like, people really get into the halftime show, like you said, and they're like, oh, that sucked or that's bad, and I get it, like, you know what I mean. And you can go back to the Michael Jackson, which was more like I don't know, it was a show because, I mean, like I said, he's doing all kinds of stunts and performing and, things like that. But
I have a very interesting historical take on that. I'm not even sure if you know this. Maybe you do. Do you understand why Michael Jackson was selected to do the Super Bowl halftime show?
I don't think I've ever heard this, no.
Okay. Yeah. So, and feel free to look, like, this is a matter of historical record. So the year prior, what took place was there was the Super Bowl halftime show used to be more college themed. You would have bands, you would have people dancing, you would have people, doing ribbons and twirling batons and stuff. That was the Super Bowl halftime show. And because Fox did not have the rights to the Super Bowl, they actually did a in living color halftime show where they advertised it and marketed it as, hey, we're going to do a halftime show in the middle of the Super Bowl. So when the halftime show comes on, switch over to Fox. We're going to do a show live on the air.
I remember that.
Yes. And so they did that. It went perfectly. Because no one thought that people would change the channel from the Super Bowl to watch in living color. But Super Bowl literally had living color had a ticker that said, hey, here's the time. We're going to have it in the bottom right-hand corner. When the clock hits 0, switch right back over to the Super Bowl. You won't miss a thing, I promise. Mm-hmm. And it worked out great. And broadcasters didn't like that, and they were like, who can we get to perform to make sure that people don't change the channel? It's like, oh, we'll go get the biggest pop star ever. We'll just have Michael Jackson come and stand on stage for 8 minutes and just pose while people cheer and women pass out in the stands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So true story. That's what led up to, famous professional singers and performers doing halftime shows. That's what it took. Was someone being so innovative and in living color to do that, and then them reacting by saying, okay, well, we just got to get someone bigger.
Okay, I did not know that. I do remember that. Yeah, I know there's a lot of they try to give you sometimes, like I know wrestling, like WWE did that one year. They had a halftime show where you could go flip over and watch a match instead of the halftime show. So again, this is one that always sticks to me. I enjoyed it. Again, I would be telling my age. I am that TRL, Total Request Live, when I was in high school, that I just, like I said, I like all music. And the year MTV produced the show and they had Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney, Nelly, Mary J. Blige, that to me that was fun. You got a multitude of artists, different music styles, and they all kind of mixed it together. I really enjoyed that. You know what I mean? I could easily say, Justin and Janet was my favorite Super Bowl halftime show for many reasons. But no, and I'm a huge Timberlake fan. So, but yeah, I think that one, that was a fun one. So not just one artist performing their hits for, 5 seconds of their hits, but a mix of artists performing 5 seconds of their hits. But so
right, good deal.
For me, that's all.
Okay. What else you got? You said so you want to go worst performance?
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Go.
It's So I know a couple who secretly don't want to be named. They may like this band, but Coldplay was the worst Super Bowl.
Okay.
Maybe it's good to go, cheat on your spouse, but not good for a Super Bowl halftime show. I don't want to go, and I don't mind Coldplay, but I need some upbeat music. I need some, something. I don't need Coldplay to be playing at my halftime show.
Okay. All right. Okay, so mine I'm going to it's similar along those lines. So, oh God. All right. I like Coldplay. All right.
I like Coldplay. I just don't want it on my halftime show.
I get you. There's nothing that Coldplay can do that's football music. Like it's just it don't work.
No, I mean, like Sade. I don't want her to do the halftime show.
That's a great point. So for me, a bad halftime show it's a culmination of a lot of things. It's a culmination of an artist that I personally deem doesn't deserve that opportunity. It's an audience that I personally believe doesn't have a catalog that warrants it. Mm-hmm. It's someone that I believe doesn't have the let's just say the appeal of someone who is performing at halftime should have in order to get something that coveted. And so I've got 3 takes on this when it comes to this, and one of them is going to come out of nowhere. But The Weeknd, terrible,
wow.
Hell out of here. Didn't like it. The Weeknd, I did not like it. It was too much. It was too busy. It tried to be too artistic. It's like it's just a halftime show. What do you do for the Super Bowl, dude? Like this is just too much.
Okay.
But to me, the worst one that I saw that was the funnest to watch because I knew that this artist didn't have enough, and she had to bring Missy Elliott to come do all her bangers. just to lift it up to make it an actual halftime show. I'm talking about Katy Perry.
Yeah.
She didn't. She has 3 legit bangers, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you know what? We just gonna have Missy come out here and Get Your Freak On real quick for us. And it was a good surprise. And it was good to kind of see Missy get a moment to perform at the Super Bowl, which, I mean, if we're going to be honest, there's not going to be a lot of opportunities for someone who I think is that I believe that Missy is one of the most underappreciated female artists in all of music. As an artist that is as good as any female rapper you've ever heard and can sing as good as well as any, female singer.
Yeah.
And and on top of that, she's produced by Timbo. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So for her to get that opportunity to perform, I'm going to give, good for her.
Yeah.
But for Katy Perry to kind of get top billing, and then I don't even know if you noticed, you could look at there were articles written about it. The bump that Missy got as her being introduced to so many people in a generation of people who didn't know her music was like, yo, Missy got slaps.
Oh, yeah.
And her downloads and her album buys went bananas for weeks post Super Bowl appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much for Katy Perry, which was kind of my original point. So music snobbish take, I'll take it.
Like you said.
And the only other thing I'm going to say, because this is a gentleman who I feel like has earned a right to be in a Super Bowl performance before he passes away, before he leaves us, is one of the greats. This name is going to come out of nowhere, but I don't know if you've ever heard this. There is an artist that is world-renowned, well-respected everywhere he goes internationally forever. Uh-huh. He is a master at one instrument. And when I say the instrument, you only think of one person. And his wish is to do nothing but play the national anthem with his instrument during the Super Bowl. It's his only wish that he has remaining. He's achieved everything else that he could musically. And I'm talking about a gentleman who has mastered the saxophone. Go ahead and say his name.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, you know.
I'll probably do if you say it, but at the moment,
it's Kenny G.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Kenny G.
Kenny G, whose albums have sold millions upon millions.
Yeah.
You hear a saxophone and you go, oh yeah, that's Kenny G. You don't know another saxophone player other than Bill Clinton. So so he's got literally one wish, is to play the national anthem.
Wow.
During the Super Bowl. Because, usually they have someone come out and sing it.
Yeah. Why don't they make that happen?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And maybe it's just one of this appealing to the younger demographic. But listen, you can say whatever you want to about Kenny G. Kenny G. Panty dropper.
I bet he's better than the guy that sang the national anthem at the AFC title game.
I don't even know who that dude was.
I don't either, but it wasn't good.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. Did they have tryouts for that? I don't know, man. We were talking about that, my wife and I. I'm like, did they have tryouts? They just picked. Does he know somebody? Like, how did he get to sing that? And maybe he just like, it wasn't like, oh, he had his Carl Lewis moment. It was like, dude, nah, that's not good.
Listen,
you can't even sing in church. Get out of here.
You're not gonna make the choir. Get the hell out of here.
You ain't getting the solo.
You want to talk about food? Because now I'm hungry.
Yeah. We're gonna get into. Yeah, I'm starving. Yeah, let's get into the. Food, like in general, like. What's your go-to food? I'm just gonna throw this all together. By the way. What's your go-to food for the Super Bowl? Do you want to go to? Would you want to watch the game at a party or just at home like you normally watch football? And then, do you care about the commercials?
Okay, so I could fly through those real quick.
Yeah, let's just roll through them.
My favorite Super Bowl food is it's prepackaged, it's frozen, it's easy to make. I would always make them in the oven. But with the advent and popularity of a air fryer, I have lost my mind because it makes them to perfection.
Yeah.
Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs makes mini beef corn dogs that are perfection. Oh my God, they're so good.
I did not see that coming.
It's awesome. It's the perfect pig in a blanket without you having to do all the extra work.
Yes.
Whatever you want to dip it in. My daughter dips it in ranch.
What?
Wife likes to dip it in barbecue sauce. You know, some people just dip it in ketchup and mustard. Like, ranch. It's perfect, man.
Wow. It's a new one.
Crispy, soft, salty, easy, you know, finger food, not super messy, but it's always a winner because you think there's all the other foods we can, you know, what chips and nachos wings, and pizza and all that wings and all of that. All that stuff is more messy, but these things, toothpick in it, easy peasy. You can eat 10 to 15 of them and it'll hold you over and, you know, something good to mix with your liquor.
Okay. I like it. Not mad.
Have you tried any?
I didn't even know they existed. Like mini corn dogs.
You got to try them.
Like they're not.
I'm gonna send you a link, yo. We ain't getting no advertising money from this, but I'm gonna have to send you a link, dude. Like they are. You got an air fryer?
Yes.
Bangers. You gotta trust me.
All right. Yeah. Send me the link, and I'll
send you the link.
I'll eat them this year. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really have a favorite food. We normally go with the normal. Like I said, we might get wings. We may do a big like dip with some chips. Obviously, you never go wrong with some sort of a.
What's your dip? What's your dip go to?
Man, like sometimes we do like a buffalo chicken, but I'm more of like a cheese. You know, like a chili cheese is a good one. We always have ranch. Always have guac.
French
salsa.
Onion, yes or no?
I like French onion. Yeah, I do like French onion with some chips. Yeah, with some Ruffles. Anything like that, man. I like to just chips and dip, and we'll have some fruit, things like that. Maybe some celery, cucumbers, and ranch. All that is what we go to for our football games, even the Super Bowl. It's going to be stuff like that. But I would definitely try your mini corn dogs. And let's see. I'm gonna get into the watch it at home or go to a party. So growing up, real quick, we used to always go to like my parents, you know, another family friend's house, right? And they would have a Super Bowl party with other couples. It seemed like me and my brother were the only kids though. But the one thing I remember about that, it was fun. Like growing up, it was always like, oh yeah, Super Bowl Sunday, we're going over to, you know, so and so's house. We're gonna, you know, they made like these little small like, what are they like? What are they called? Cornish hens. You know what I'm talking about?
Cornish game hens, correct?
Yes. So I just, as a kid, I remember looking forward to just, you know, at the time I think I just called them like little chickens. So you know, so it was, you know, that I remember, and that was always fun. But you know, as a kid, like, you know, I'm playing and watching, and it's a little different when you're a kid. So, but as I've gotten, you know, older and throughout the years, I honestly, I just want to watch the game. I don't care about any party. Let me just watch the game on my couch, in my chair, whatever the case, be comfortable in my house. So,
and I am going to wholeheartedly agree with you to my soul. And here is why. People, as a sports fan, you have a particular way that you do everything. You got a particular way that you prepare in the morning for game day, how you watch the game, where you watch the game, whether you watch the game with sound, whether you're watching other things at the same time that the game is on. Are we eating dinner, or is dinner on hold? Are we going to eat during halftime? Do I want to watch the halftime show? Like, just the way that people watch sports is such a different experience. And when you go somewhere else, it's out of your control. You're at the mercy of what someone else is going to do. And, you know, God bless their souls. I've spent Thanksgiving with some family members who just did not have the game on.
Oh God.
And, you know, it could ruin relationships long term, because it's like, wait. Like, no, like, do you guys understand football is on? And it's great to see you all, but You
I want
know,
to watch football.
I want to watch. I want to watch the Cowboys lose. And
Yes.
so you lose that when you step out of your own environment, and then there's the thing with the Super Bowl where it's such a production. You're gonna get home so late, and you got to go to work tomorrow.
Yes.
Which is another story. So it's like you're going to get home.
100%.
If you're lucky, you'll get home 10:30. If you're lucky.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
It used to be later.
And then it's over. No, go ahead.
No, they do start them earlier than they used to. So I think they did adjust that some. I mean, I definitely remember it being really late. But.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Nah.
Yeah, not for me.
All right. And then do you care about the commercials?
Now, no. And the reason why is I actually had to have somebody point out to me it's a form of marketing where I realize that now I'm of an age and a stature in life that I am the target demographic for all the shit they're trying to sell me. Where before commercials were fun and interesting, but now I'm like offended when they purposely use a number one hit from the year that I graduated. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, this song was the most popular song, you know, in August when you started your 11th grade year in high school, and that nostalgia kicks in, and then they couple that with a message that kind of plucks the strings of a human being's vulnerability to try to sell you some shit. Yeah. So I take offense to commercials. There's been some classics like, you know, that made waves and then died. Like, remember Puppy Monkey Baby?
Yeah.
It lasted for a week and a half and then we forgot about it. But it was a moment.
At the moment, yeah.
You know, there was the crypto one from, you know, some years ago where it was just a QR code on the screen for 30 seconds. Yeah. And everybody ran to their phone to scan it. So, but for me, I could live with or without them. And with the advent of the internet, most of the Super Bowl commercials, very, very few of them still get held until the Super Bowl. But most of them are released days before. You could just watch them all on YouTube.
Yeah, now.
Yeah. So it's like, why? Like, no, I'm not paying attention to them. Like, not live. I don't need to see everybody else's reaction.
So I was thinking about this, and definitely now I don't care about them as much as I used to, right? And not that I ever really cared about them, but it was always one of those things. A part of the experience of a Super Bowl was like, oh, what's the commercials going to be? So I put Super Bowl commercials in a category now with like the shock value, kind of.
Got it.
So it's kind of like, if you remember, and if you're of our age, there used to be a thing called music videos, and then they had the MTV VMAs, the Video Music Awards, which they still have them for some reason, but there's no videos, but they still have the awards. But every year at the awards, it seemed like every year they were trying to top the last year, right? With the big surprise, the big moment, the big shock value. The same, I put these commercials in the same as, like, I watch wrestling again. So in wrestling, they're always trying to, at these big, like, WrestleManias and certain times, there's these big moments. Today, you know, as of this recording, the Royal Rumble is going to happen today. Who's going to be the surprise entrant? So you got to try to top yourself every time. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I put Super Bowl commercials in that same space, in that now wrestling somehow pulls it off that they can continue to surprise you and shock you. The VMAs got to a point to where I'm like, yeah, y'all just reaching and trying something. You know what I mean? It's like you can tell that you're trying too hard.
Got it. Yeah, it wasn't organic.
To top yourself. And I feel the same way with Super Bowl commercials now. I feel like everyone's trying too hard, and it's not hitting like it used to. You know, and the beer commercials used to always have good ones. But it wasn't, you got to think, like, it wasn't always this way. You know, I don't know exactly when Super Bowl commercials started being a real, real big thing and everyone started catching on, and then now it's like a thing. And that's the way I feel about Super Bowl commercials, that they're just trying to top each other or top, each year. What can we do? And I think sometimes they just try too hard. I mean, I'll still watch them, but I kind of miss them. And then each year I feel like then I watch them the day after normally online, like you said. And be like, oh, what I missed, because I don't really pay attention to commercials. I hate commercials. So then I watch them. I'm like, meh, it is what it is. Like, I'm not like laughing too hard, and I'm not like overwhelmed. So
yeah,
that's my
and,
stance.
and I'll,
That's my
and I'll
stance.
say this. I'll give them all the help and free advice that they need. If you want to have a good, like a good ad run, the best thing that you can do to make it memorable and to make it stick is to make it funny.
Yes.
Don't make it silly. Don't make it wacky. And make something that sticks, that can sustain the test of time for the moment. And you're spending a lot of money on it, and I know a lot of this is internet algorithm driven and all these things, but ultimately, like, you're broadcasting this thing live on television with everyone watching it on television. Give them something. And if you give them something that's funny and entertaining, they'll be more likely to share it. Like, I don't care if you're going to put Matthew McConaughey in your commercial, dude. Don't care. Don't care.
Yeah.
Make it something that's funny. Make me laugh, and you got me. So, I'll end it on that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. And then again, like you said, make the day after a holiday, and then we're solid.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be. You get
Super Bowl Monday.
Get that cold. Yeah, I mean, just make it a holiday. Just make it
It's easy. We have Valentine's Day. Let's have Super Bowl holiday. All right, so that's another episode of Fanatically Speaking. Again, I am Kent, the co-host and promoter.
I'm Log Off, the Log Off legend, hater of social media, co-host and producer of the show. I hate social media. You don't. Run to the socials. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. Like, share, review, comment, DM, just send stuff. Send it our way, and we'll get a chance to, to take a look at it and reply and get some,
yes.
Yeah, have some backs and forths.
Yeah, not these bots that are trying to promote our podcast. And they act like you know me. You don't know me. You're a robot. Then, like I said, we're on all podcast outlets. It doesn't matter. Go listen anywhere. But the main thing is listen and share with a friend. And as I always say, go to whatever device and tap that app on our show.
Yeah, tap that app. And by tap that app, we mean like review it. Like give us the bumps. Give us the the promotion. Like tap it. Make sure that you're initiating that contact.
Yes, tap, listen, like I get. Like I said, I get a lot of people like, oh, I like you. I follow you on Instagram and TikTok. I'm like, oh, cool. You listen to the show? No, please go listen to the show. Like, there's an actual podcast. It's called
There's actual
podcast.
Content there.
Yes, listen. So yeah, it's all good though. We love everybody that follows us on anything, listens on anything. We appreciate everybody, and yeah.
But still, make sure you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all right.
You good?
I am good.